Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Vice President of Europe and South Africa, Mark Walford Jr.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be with you today. Beautiful, beautiful in Katowice. Great to see old friends and meet new friends. Convention's always a time to just reinvigorate and recharge. It's great to be with you today. My heart goes out to every single one of you. dōTERRA events are something special. And before I want to go any further, I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for being here. I know it's not always easy. The time, the cost, the energy, and the sacrifice, it matters that you're here. I hope you leave this event not just inspired to use oils daily, but inspired to be a greater force for good. Because the reality is, the world needs it. Our world needs it. They need that support, friendship, and love. Your friends need it, your foes need it, your neighbor needs it, we all need it. Let me start with something personal. There was a time in my life when on paper everything looked right. I was working in New York City and then I moved to San Francisco building a career, advising multi-billion-dollar companies on multi-billion transactions and working with people you regularly see on the news. But with all of that, I didn't feel a sense of purpose. I was surrounded by growth, capital, and ambition, but something was still missing. And it forced me to ask myself a question I want all of you to think about today. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And why am I here? That question is what led me to dōTERRA. There's a principle that has stayed with me over the years. Trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. It's the foundational principle that holds all relationships together. And in dōTERRA, trust is everything. Trust in our products, trust in our processes, and in our purpose. Do we get everything right all the time? Are we perfect? No. But our commitment is to never lose sight of that trust, so you can feel confident using and sharing what we offer. So why do people join dōTERRA? For me, it comes down to four things: our product, our purpose, our opportunity, and you, our community. Today, I'd like to touch on the first two with you today. First, our product. We have the purest, most consistent essential oil in the world. That's not just a claim. It's something we invest in every single day through our sourcing, our research, our science, and our supply chain. No other essential company can compete with that. And you'll see it more in the data Dr. O will show you later today. Throughout my time at dōTERRA, I've been fortunate to learn from incredible mentors. Dave Sterling, who was one of them and was with us today and this week, has been one of them. Another is Corey Lindley, a founder, former CEO, and CFO of dōTERRA. Corey told me something I've never forgotten, and it remains with me today. When he left the industry about 20 years ago, after working at one of our competitors, he had the intention of never returning. But when he came across dōTERRA and dug into our information and financials, one number changed everything for him. That figure was our retention rate, up to 65 to 70%. Retention rates like this are what companies strive for, and rarely do companies in any industry, and trust me, I've worked with many, see such great retention figures. And even today, now that Corey is retired, that legacy still continues. Those retention numbers haven't changed because we are and always will be a product-led company. The second reason people join and stay with dōTERRA is our purpose. When we talk about helping the world heal, we mean it, and we actually do it. Through our products and our communities in many other ways. And most importantly, how we source. We have donated over 86 million in philanthropic efforts over the years, reduced our carbon footprint by 16%, and have planted over 700,000 trees on the big island of Hawaii, which, mind you, is one of the largest reforestation projects in all of the United States. These are big, massive numbers. But what they really show is care and commitment towards people and planet. My first role at dōTERRA, when I joined, involved making investments across the company, including many within our supply chain. I had the opportunity to visit regions where we source our essential oils, conduct the due diligence, and support our partners financially, whether through debt or equity or other means to help them grow. One thing I learned very quickly is this. Before dōTERRA, the essential oil industry was the wild, wild west. Let me give you one example. In one region where we source our oil, an essential oil broker came and committed to purchasing a large amount of volume. Say, for example, for illustration purposes, 20,000 kilos, at a price well above the market rate. Farmers heard that and they acted on it. They planted more, they invested more, they prepared for that opportunity. A year later, harvest came, oil was produced, and the buyer came back, said they no longer need 20,000 kilos. They only needed 4,000 kilos. As you can imagine, that created panic in the marketplace. Farmers were left with product they couldn't sell and were forced to sell at a loss, far below what they had been promised. And the reality is, this wasn't a one-time story. This kind of behavior damaged trust across the entire industry. But dōTERRA chose a different path. We believed there was a better way to do business, an honest and ethical way. We created long-term agreements, offered fair pricing, and we committed to the quantities we agreed upon. And if a year later, dōTERRA didn't need that volume, we still honored our word. We could have followed the old model, no one would have known, but we didn't. We took the more difficult path, an honest path, and that is because our word is our bond. When I reflect on this, I truly believe this. No other company in this industry cares more about people the way we do. Others might say it, but dōTERRA will honor it. We've invested hundreds of millions of dollars into our supply chain. Dr. Hill says it best, when no other company knows what we know because no other company does what we do. This story is just an example of that. And it brings me back to where I started, the purpose, the belief, my why. Before I graduated college and before I officially started my career, my parents took my wife and myself on a co-impact sourcing trip in Nepal. This was more than 10 years ago, and it was life-changing. I remember walking into one of the villages that dōTERRA supports through our sourcing efforts and immediately feeling humbled. They welcomed us with open arms, offered us everything, and thanked us for the good that we have been in their community. We spent that week building schools and wells, supporting the villages after the devastating earthquakes. I remember thinking at that time, this is what business should look like. I look back on this opportunity as a grounding experience that shaped my attitude towards humanity at a young age, and particularly how dōTERRA is so unique in being one of the few companies that bring hope and healing in the world. After this experience in Nepal, I went to work in New York City, the financial industry, and then spent many years in the Bay Area near San Francisco. As I mentioned earlier in my slide and my talk, I never felt a sense of purpose in my career in New York or San Francisco. I never felt a sense of purpose with these companies that I was a part of, and all they cared about was one thing, and that was capital. Capital return to their investors. It didn't matter how or where your product was produced or making a positive impact in the world. All that mattered was increasing the stock price or the underlying value of the business to reward shareholders. After a few years, I had the opportunity to come back or join dōTERRA. And this was a pivotal moment in my life. Do I stay in San Francisco advising clients on how to maximize returns? Or do I move back to Utah, join a company whose philosophy is completely different from what I was used to? I remember discussing this opportunity with Kirsten, my partner, my rock, and my better half. When I told Kirsten about coming back to dōTERRA, she said, I don't know of another company or a single company that does more good in the world than dōTERRA. If you want to be part of a company you want to be part of a company that makes a difference in the world, we would be fools not to join. She just reiterated what I knew in my heart. At that point, I'd never look back. I'm proud to associate myself with dōTERRA, with such amazing people, products, and our purpose. The amount of good we do is unmeasurable and unmatched. I hope by the end of this, you all feel a little prouder to be associated with dōTERRA. And for those of you who want to be part of the community and make a lasting impact, dōTERRA is your home. Whoever needs to hear this, you are needed. Your voice, your time, your commitment, your love, your passion, you are needed here at dōTERRA. Thank you for all your love, your support, and your generosity. It's people like you that have made dōTERRA what it is and what it will always be. Thank you. Your next speaker is someone I love working with. The passion, the joy that he brings to dōTERRA is unmatched. He's taken our research and our studies to the next level. Because of people like Dr. Osgothorpe, who have given us dōTERRA, the competitive advantage through groundbreaking research he and his team do daily on essential oils. I can't wait for you to hear what he has to share with us today. Thank you.